Hey, welcome to the Infinity Bros podcast, the only podcast that is perfectly balanced, as all things should be. Welcome to episode 107. I am your host, Max Mosier. Grateful to be here with you wherever you're listening. However you're listening, thanks for making us part of your podcast experience. We've got the quad box live today for Infinity Bros. Here to my top left of the quad box, it is Isaac Edlund. Isaac, how are you?
I'm doing great. Ready to get going here, talking about some fun stuff, Super Bowl stuff, trailers, Peacemaker, definitely the most important thing that we're going to be talking about tonight. Yeah, I think so too. Thank you.
I'm also just happy to be here, talk about some big things, things like Peacemaker, and things that are almost as big, but maybe not quite as big, like some trailers.
This is impossible. I'm starting over.
Not as big.
Zayne, you stopped by.
Yeah, I'm here. With the whole quad box thing going on, do you feel like you're hosting NFL Red Zone?
7 hours of commercial-free football start now.
As we approach the witching hour.
Yeah, it's a great transition point.
You're welcome. I know what I'm doing.
I think it's tremendous. No, I think it's a great transition point. It had to be done. So I don't come with any shame, but it's bummer Jarrett's not on because I feel like Jarrett would be a better source to start this dialogue with. But so the Infinity Bros have a shared email account that we all share, and I made it originally several years ago when Isaac and I were first. Gosh, we were registering for how many websites have we registered for? You think, Isaac? More than 20, maybe 30?
I've done a bunch of stuff that I've probably never even used.
Yeah.
With that and our old email address, by the way.
Yeah. Too. So Jarrett logs out of our Twitter account today and logs into what
he believes is the Infinity Bros Twitter account, but yes.
Alas, he came upon a fantasy football trading polls Twitter account I had created. I'd like to also comment, it was ratioed very well. I had like 270 followers and I followed 140 people. But had this account that I was using for a couple years, saw somebody else using it, and I thought originally that I put it on the Max Mosier 73 one, but I didn't. And about a year ago, I realized that I needed to fix that and never did. So I've been going through the meat grinder per se, verbally from the boys today, not just the Infinity Bros, but the extended Infinity Bros universe.
For context, though, so we're all in this shared Dynasty Football League. Max has been sharing all of the trades that are happening and like basically insider information on the league. Like, should I do this? Should I offer this? All that kind of stuff.
Oh, yeah. No, actually, I'll tweak that.
Okay.
It's any trade offer I receive that I'm like thinking about, or any trade offer that I was like, man, I don't know who wins this trade, and I'd put that in there.
And matchups?
There were a couple. I hadn't used it in about a year and a half, though.
I saw one matchup. Yeah,
I haven't used it in about a year and a half. That was 2021 was not the year of using that account. Took a little hiatus break.
You know what? I just find all this to be very convenient.
Elaborate?
Well, if you have nothing to hide, why did you delete it all? But you just said you had nothing to hide.
And they were over a year ago. I don't think we had cared. Well,
what? Did you or did you not block all of us on that account? Okay.
So Elliot, who wasn't in the league until this year, so it wouldn't have mattered.
Did you block Zayne when he joined Twitter? Okay.
That's fair.
For obvious reasons. Can't even operate his phone, let alone an app.
Have you at least enjoyed some of the memes? Have some of them made you laugh?
He's clarified that he is not rattled. He's not rattled at all. Yes, please. You're not rattled.
Okay. I can live with that.
Wait, so Sarah knew about this too? Like, you told Sarah about this?
My wife.
My wife.
Hasn't worked yet, so.
That's true. Especially when it comes to, like, we could be like joking around, like having a good time, and then all of a sudden it comes to the podcast reviews and Max just whips out his like
strict
nasty
system.
He just is like, dang, I gotta rip these people up.
Would you say that Mad Max comes out?
I wouldn't call it vile. I wouldn't call it
not vile Max.
Grouchy.
Not
I would
grouchy
not call
Max.
It vile. I would call it cynical, goofy.
Malicious Max?
No, I wouldn't call it malicious Max.
Cynical MacArthur.
Would you say you become a road warrior? And these thoughts make you want to fight in a Thunderdome?
Zane, when you start spelling your name Zane, I'll start going by Mad Max. How's that sound?
I mean, but that's not how my name is spelled.
That's like two different things, though. That's like two completely different things.
It is like,
But it is. It's two different things.
Your name's
You
not
don't
even.
understand.
Where's the X in your actual name?
Zane, some of us
where's
will
the
have to
X?
make sacrifices for him to be called Mad Max, so you're gonna have to get rid of the Y in your name.
Yeah, Zane, make a sacrifice here. Yeah, be one for the team, Zane. This podcast review came from Podchaser. This comes from friend of the show, Andrew Loudon. He left a 5-star review. He says, these guys are rock stars, super knowledgeable of pop culture. Always count on them for unbiased reviews of the latest big games Marvel releases. Unbiased Marvel review.
Unbiased, yeah, that's very generous of him.
He's definitely only listened to episodes I've been on.
Yeah,
Clearly.
unbiased.
Clearly.
Oh, no. Robbie comments, you're stroking your beard like you have a lot to say.
I'm always very thoughtful and stroke my beard. I'm clearly the most unbiased here.
Clearly.
Unbiased. Oh, man.
Yes,
Loudon,
of course.
Of course, yes.
Of course. I'm going to give this a 4 out of 6. Again, another great review friend of the show, not mentioning Zane. When will these people learn, Isaac? When will they learn?
It's at this point, it's like essential. You need to put Zane in your review.
To even claim we're unbiased, that's asinine.
True.
It's what the people want.
Before we dive into Peacemaker, Multiverse of Madness, Moonknight, and the Lord of the Rings trailers, we want to make sure that you're familiar with our rating system and how we rate things. So we're going to go ahead and put that bumper for that right here.
Here on the Infinity Bros podcast, everything is ranked from a 0 to 6 point scale. 0 meaning horrible, and 6 meaning absolutely excellent. If all of the Infinity Bros rank something a 6, it gets an Infinity Snap.
Additionally, we want to make sure that you know we're going to spoil everything from Peacemaker. We're going to talk about some little bits for Doctor Strange and Moonknight today. So we want to make sure that those could potentially be spoilers as they're rumors. So we want to make sure that you are just treading carefully. If you don't want to be spoiled from this point on, we want to give you a spoiler warning.
This is
Prepare yourself.
an Infinity Bros
Prepare yourself.
spoiler warning.
And before we get into all the nerdy content, because here on the Infinity Bros here on the Infinity Bros podcast, we're all about the nerdy stuff. One of the nerdy things that we're into is comic books, especially indie comic books. And one of the coolest indie comic books out there is Chronicles of Faith David, a joint series put on by Brainy Pixel and Mercy Way Studios. You guys need to check this out. Issue 0 is out and available. Each issue 1 is also available to purchase, and issue 2 is now currently on Indiegogo to be funded so they can continue this series. And this series, guys, is fantastic. It's a recreation of the story of David right now, and they're going to continue this series going through the Old Testament and some of the awesome stories that are in there that honestly led themselves very well to comic books. So the art in this is amazing. If you guys want to check out a review of issue 0 of Chronicles of Faith David, make sure you go to the Daily Snap at theinfinitybros.com. And I'm actually going to be doing a review of issue 1 as well that will be up on the Daily Snap as well. So lots of cool stuff. We'll put the link to the Indiegogo in our show notes. Make sure you guys go check that out. Good friends of the Infinity Bros podcast. And you can check out the Chronicles of Faith David mini-sode that we did quite a while back. Actually had Brainy Pixel, Ivan Anaya, who is the artist of Mercy Way Studios, on, and we talked about it a little bit and had a good chat with those guys. It's really cool to see kind of the roots of how that comic book got going. So make sure you guys check that out. Really cool stuff upcoming. So
click the link tree, go there. You'll find the link in there. You'll be good to go. All the links we discussed today will be on that link tree. Don't miss that link on the show notes. Peacemaker picks up from where the Suicide Squad 2021 left off, where Peacemaker returns home after recovering from his encounter with Bloodsport, only to discover that his freedom comes at a price. We've reviewed this show a couple times this season, but this is the final episode of season 1. The episode 8 is titled "It's Cow or Never." And first, before we talk about episode 8, let's talk about our reviews of the season leading up to this point. Quick numbers real quick. Zayne, what was your rating real quick? Just a number up to this point through 7 episodes.
Through 7 episodes, I'm going to give it a solid 5.5.
Robbie.
I'm right there with Zayne. I'd say 5.5. 5.5.
5.5 as well.
I was at a 5. I think it was very strong, especially they're picking up steam towards the end here. And although Peacemaker and Adebayo are at odds, the team must kill the cow before the aliens can finish. This episode is directed by James Gunn, written by James Gunn, and obviously John Cena is our boy in it. Let's go ahead and rate this episode and talk about our thoughts on it. Let's pass it over to our residential DC fanboy on this show for this episode, Robbie. Robbie, go ahead.
Totally unbiased.
That's what we've got at the Infinity Bros podcast. Unbiased opinions.
Completely unbiased. Not biased at all. Well, and I feel like that could actually be a little bit true. Like, I'm only biased to the DC name, but I don't know anything about Peacemaker until this show, really, or really until Suicide Squad came out. I really enjoyed this season finale. I feel like it had all the hits. It had the jokes that this season is known for. And I don't think this episode went too vulgar, except for maybe our big cameo at the end. But there was some good action scenes, some really good fight scenes. We got some of those moments, those touchy-feely moments that John Cena's Peacemaker had with his dad, and all those different things that meshed well and led up to we're going to get a second season. we had a few moments where we thought we might lose a few important characters. I'm so happy that Eagly did not die. If Eagly would have got taken out,
instantly lowered score. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it's a 3 if Eagly goes out. And like Eagly's not that important, but he's that important.
Absolutely.
Eagly's just
he's the star of the show.
There's so many little things that are like there's so many little things that seem like they're big things in the show when they don't really matter. I thought the cow and how they got rid of the cow was pretty funny. John Cena got to kind of get back at Adebayo by just doing the torpedo thing with her when she was not ready. So yeah, I really enjoyed it. That's why I gave it a 5 out of 5 for the whole season. Thought this episode was probably also a 5 out of 5.
5 out of 6.
5 out of 6.
That's how we rate things on the
5.5 out of 6. I ruined it all. Unbiased opinions. Yeah. No, I really enjoyed it.
Zayner.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep it just right on 5.5. Like this is one of those seasons where almost every episode it continued the narrative. It had the same humor through and through, and like it always did enough to be engaging. And it was just, it built enough of these characters that you feel like, oh, this is a side character that doesn't actually matter, but it actually, it felt like a much larger character. And you, for as much as you saw humor and got just some of the wacky, crazy stuff, you also got kind of a deep hitting story behind everything with Peacemaker, his dad, his brother. Like you saw the depths of stuff with Adebayo and her wife. Like there was so much more human side to it, not just, hey, we're going to make a crazy superhero show. And I thought that balanced well through the whole thing. So 5.5 on the finale, and like I said, season as a whole, 5.5. Like it,
and you got to watch Peacemaker's character grow throughout the show, which I thought was really interesting because like people started calling him out for being a total dick, and it was so necessary. And you could actually see like him realizing, oh, I'm kind of a dick. Like the big, emotional moment in this final episode was Dye Beard and how he's like, I thought no one would notice that I dye my beard.
No one got me, dude.
Dickhead started mentioning it every day. It's like it's like a silly thing, but like, John Cena's character is a dick, and he didn't realize how much of a dick he was. Okay, I've said that word enough. I'm going to move on. Go ahead.
We're a clean podcast.
Maybe not after this episode. If we're still clean after the last episode, 106, then we'll be clean the entire. Yeah.
Don't come after me when you guys talked about that movie.
Mark, why are you at Robbie's house?
You don't even call it by its name.
I don't even want to say the name.
I don't even want to say the name. I can't. Isaac, go ahead.
I mean, what you guys are hitting on, I would actually give this last episode a 6 out of 6. I think this was probably the best episode in the season for me. All of the, you guys have hit on it. Like, this show was a lot more emotional than I expected it to be. What I expected to be was a lot of violence and gore and dick jokes. And we certainly got a lot of that. But like you mentioned, Robbie, the character development is actually just perfect in this show. Peacemaker becomes a character that we kind of actually like by the end of it, which is, everybody kind of hates him in the Suicide Squad. Is it these? Now we're having this discussion. Suicide Squad. He's an easy character to hate, and he still is through most of this season. And by the end of it, we're actually on his side, and we actually like the decisions that he's making, which is pretty cool. James Gunn did a fantastic job with this show. He does it in Guardians of the Galaxy and in Suicide Squad as well, but the soundtrack and score that goes along with this show was incredible. I think it goes a long way to speaking to who, Peacemaker and his dad is, how he grew up. It was very, it had this, nostalgic feel to it, even though it's obviously just, came out this year. So that was really cool. But, man, just top-notch show. there was just a lot of dick jokes and a lot of gore. So that's why it's a 5.5 for me ultimately. Like it's awesome. And James Gunn does a pretty good job at pivoting from dick joke to serious moment. Like those, he actually surprised me with a few of them where he actually inserts this kind of crude humor into these heavy emotional moments, and it kind of works actually. So surprisingly, very emotional show. Loved it, but it got a little over the top at times, which is what we kind of expected.
Yeah, I mean, this has the cameo to end all cameos just on top of it too, right?
Real.
Like, I mean, with Jason Momoa and Ezra Miller coming back as their characters, and
That was wild.
Then Superman and Wonder Woman in the frame as well.
Or was that Shazam?
It was Superman. Anyway, moving
Superman.
on.
What?
It was Superman. Let's stop that. There was no it or it wasn't. It was Superman. Stop it.
What if that was Supergirl, not Wonder Woman?
Well, actually,
yeah, I'm going to stay at a 5 for very similar reasons as you, Isaac. I just think I'm a bigger critic on the subject of dick jokes and F words, right? Like, I think for me, this is James Gunn at his finest when he the character that what's the Economos when Economos is talking about his beard, that's James Gunn at his best writing. That is peak James Gunn. That's what he's good at, making obscure moments into character arc moments that absolutely make that specific character. It makes you fall in love with them, and it makes the characters surrounding him or her fall in love with them. And this is where this episode shines. I've first 2 episodes did not like it. Was pretty close to actually bailing on this show. Gave it one more episode to give it a shot, and I'm really thrilled I did because I think this show ended very well. I think also, too, James Gunn being behind the camera really helps, Robbie. I would add that on to what you said. I think James Gunn being behind the camera, the episodes he directed, to me, were some of the heaviest hitting episodes. I think he's just that good behind the camera. And this is one of those episodes. I'm very pleased with this show. Another show, I would put it in the Ted Lasso category. This show shouldn't have been made, but it was, and I'm glad it was made. I still have questions of the overarching, like, what is DC trying to do overall? And I think that cameo makes me ask that question.
That was my big thing, because I was like, okay, we now got Aquaman and Ezra Miller and the Flash talking to Peacemaker, but it's like super vulgar talk. And I'm like, okay, where are we going from here now?
Yeah, what is your and is it just James Gunn wanted to do it and that was it? Like, and they know they're aborting all of this down the line? Like, that was kind of my question.
It turned into The Boys really fast.
Yes. Oh my gosh, great way to say it. That's exactly what I thought, Robbie. And don't get me wrong, I was there for it. Like, I was like, oh, this is great. But then to hear Aquaman say the F word, just like, oh, that's...
I don't know. It kind of...
another betrayal
like,
of the
it fit
character.
Jason Momoa, but it didn't fit...
It
didn't fit Ezra Miller in the Flash's character. That was weird to me. Like, Jason Momoa would have said that as Aquaman.
That's what I was thinking. Like, it made sense that Jason Momoa would be a little vulgar, because Aquaman can be a little vulgar. But then for, like, Ezra Miller to play off that
was
to, like,
weird.
make it bigger, like, didn't make a lot of sense to me. I didn't like that, because now that's canon. That's part of the DCEU moving forward. Unless, they go back and get rid of everything in the Flash coming up here soon.
Multiverse, right? I mean, the argument is multiverse potentially.
But yeah, I didn't like it because, like I've already said, like, then you were just turning into The Boys, and we already have those characters in The Boys. And like DC, the big 7 for DC should be a shining light, for
I agree.
that world. And that being the first like instance for James Gunn to use them and to do that with them kind of
and it's just like light. It was just weird how they were even there. Like it was a running joke throughout the whole thing with Peacemaker and all these characters, and then they just actually show up at the end. Like, I don't know, it seemed like it didn't really make sense. And I think it would have been more funny if they just left it as a running joke instead of them actually showing up.
This is interesting. It sounds like you both are really low on this cameo. Zayne, what are your thoughts on this cameo? Are you aligning with them?
No, I actually really liked it.
Me too.
I loved the cameo. I didn't like how they talked.
Did you like how they talked, Zayne?
I like it because it was counter of what everything you see. Like, it's against the bit of them not showing up. It's against the bit of them being the shining beacon. Like, it's totally like, hey, we showed up, Peacemaker calling you out. Like, oh wow, thanks guys. And then like it makes sense because it's completely out of character.
In the bit, it was funny, but to me, it's like nobody cares about the butterflies. Like Justice League, nobody except for Peacemaker and their crew is doing anything about the butterfly situation. The whole entire world.
You can't use that argument because that happens in all the Marvel movies too. Like that's
they don't show up then because yeah, that's it. But then they actually
show up.
I know
they did show up. They were just late. I thought that if we were going to get a cameo, it was going to be Batman, and I don't know if it would have been Affleck or Pattinson or who it would have been.
Have him actually face to face with
with
John Cena. That would have been great.
Heard you don't like my. My.
So there is a quote from James Gunn, Robbie, and I'm paraphrasing this quote, but basically what he says is, I was not allowed to use Batman characters for whatever reason. I don't know what the reason is. He basically ended this sentence with, I'm assuming it has to do with a future movie. So that leads me personally to believe that has to do with The Flash and what they're doing there with Michael Keaton and all that stuff. So,
well, I saw an article too, not that it's with what's going on in the DC stuff. But I don't remember where I saw the article, but apparently to do this add-in, it's actually Marvel that shot this. And
you're out here stealing my show notes. You make fun of me for doing show notes. And then I've got them, and then you come on here and steal them.
Zayne, you should watch our TikToks because, like, I already covered that on TikTok from a link that Max shared.
I do want to share that quote, so let's talk about that. So this is a Variety quote. This comes from Variety, and James Gunn says this. And Zayne, you're 100% correct. Marvel did shoot Ezra Miller. I think before we ever shot the show, we talked to Jason about it. He was cool, so he's pretty much on board from the beginning. And then Ezra, I've just found out through some common friends, liked my movies a lot. So I asked if he would come in and shoot the scene. He kindly agreed to that. And actually, Marvel shot Ezra for us while we were shooting Guardians 3. So this was actually an exchange because the actor who plays Myrn shot screen tests by DC for Marvel for Guardians. So I believe those conversations were happening with Gunn and that actor during the filming of Peacemaker, heading into Guardians of the Galaxy. So Marvel owed him one. That was the way the article.
But now, too, to run on that, do you think we're going to get some sort of cameo by either of them in Guardians of the Galaxy 3? Even if it's just like a voice role or CGI.
I feel like the most likely would be John Cena.
Well, no, I mean, because since Marvel shot that with Ezra Miller and Jason Momoa, like, do you think either of them get an Easter egg while they were there for Guardians?
It was just Ezra. Jason Momoa, yeah. It was
I mean, like, if they just use his voice.
Momoa was on site. He came to their set. Yeah, so then it would be Miller, you're right. Yeah, I don't know. It's a good question. I'm with Robbie. I'll circle back on that, though. The butterfly comment, I agree, Robbie. It's... Isaac, if the Justice League knew about the butterflies, that's a Marvel thing. Like that's Marvel has the same issue. But on the flip side, too, to defend Isaac, I don't really know where I stand on the issue. I'm just kind of trying to look at it through like realistically what should have happened here. You can't tell me that Flash and Superman are coming at the same time as Aquaman. Right? Like that just felt weird to me too.
Well, do you think that Superman like carried Aquaman there and then they just dropped him for like dramatic effect?
I think Wonder Woman carried all three of them because it's 2020.
She's working on carrying the franchise. So.
She's carrying all of the DCU right now, as far as I'm concerned.
Well, okay, so point to that, James Gunn is carrying the DCU right now. The top 3 things on Rotten Tomatoes, 2 of them are James Gunn stuff.
Yeah, man.
Peacemaker is the highest rated Rotten Tomatoes thing that DCU has right now. It's at 95%.
Were you worried at the end of this that a butterfly was going to overtake somebody on the team?
I kind of thought about it because, I mean, obviously we get the scene where like the butterfly almost gets into Harcourt, and like I was like, I wonder if we're going to get somebody that's singled out, like, you know, at the end that this potentially could continue on. But it was a cool little, I don't know, it wasn't even a post-credit scene. It was just at the end. But like John Cena or Peacemaker's at his trailer, and Goff as a butterfly comes over and is just like chilling with Peacemaker, and he feeds him. Like that was kind of a cool little cameo thing at the end there.
Yeah, for me it was Economos. That was the one I was thinking was going to get taken over because he had kind of had that ending. Economos.
Just call him Diebeard.
Diebeard.
Don't call him Diebeard anymore. Come on, man. Come on.
I didn't think anyone noticed until some dickhead made a comment.
When he was like crying as he said that, I was like, oh my gosh. Oh, I
wouldn't know
rough.
what it's like to have to dye your beard. But I thought based on how he spoke in that moment that he was going to be the one. Like that was going to be the end of his arc. Boom, they're done with him. He'll survive, but then the final panel was going to be him trying to take down that team. But maybe the team's just not big enough right now. Maybe they just need to get deeper into Amanda Waller's behind the scenes craziness first.
Yeah, well, and that's what it looks like, the direction that they're going, because they called her out at the end of the episode. So, you know. Yeah,
that's actually probably a scarier person to go against than... Would you rather go against the Butterflies or Amanda Waller? I'm probably taking the Butterflies.
The Butterflies is a cool, fun arc, but I hope they drop it for next season because
they have to. The cow's dead. They don't have any. That's why Goff
came
and like stayed with Peacemaker.
Well, does Peacemaker have like cases of it somewhere or what?
No, but he has nowhere else to go. He's dead. He's dead once the bottle's gone. Like,
right.
It doesn't matter.
He was the only one that had any left of that.
So it doesn't matter anymore.
So Goff.
So yeah, the Butterflies are done. They'll move on from them.
As they should.
Season 2, what do you want to see?
That's the question. Like we had no idea what to expect coming into this season. So you imagine you could go the Waller route. You could go what's the name that Idris Elba played?
Bloodsport.
Bloodsport. You could go John Cena versus Bloodsport. That's still kind of a thing out there. I don't know. There's a lot of things you could do. James Gunn is going to find something weird that he'll pick up on. I don't have any preconceived expectations yet. I would be shocked if we make it out of the next season without losing one or two of the members, though.
I think that's why everybody actually liked this show so much, is that we didn't really know what to expect coming into it. And I mean, going forward, I feel like I still have that attitude. Like I'm excited for it, and I don't really care to know what's happening next because it'll be a fun ride, kind of just regardless of what happens. So I don't really know what to expect from it, and I kind of like it that way.
I think they can lower the stakes for next season too. Like, don't make it a world-altering event. Make it more of a national threat. I mean, even if it's Amanda Waller, like that to me, the stakes of Adebayo versus her mom, I think that's great. Let's leave it at that. Like, I think that would be great stakes, and then Peacemaker has to work through that. I think that I would like that. But
Peacemaker growing as a person, like, is good enough for me. If it's a slow
that's all it needs
process,
to be.
is fine. It doesn't have to be a quick thing. It just slowly
Dude, that's out. I mean, it's crazy too that they showed a kid like getting killed on screen. That's the other part of this show that really was jarring to me. But props and respect. I think they
handled it well.
They took a shot.
Like,
they did. They handled it well. I thought it was in good taste. It's a risky subject matter, but I thought it was in good taste. If James Gunn, I will say this: if James Gunn doesn't come back, I don't want it.
Yeah, I think that's fair to say. I mean, I think at this point, Peacemaker is probably well developed enough as a character to carry something, but I mean, it's James Gunn's thing, so like I don't think it would have as much impact.
It has to be James Gunn.
Definitely wouldn't have as much impact if it was somebody else.
His fingerprints are all over this thing.
Definitely,
it's a lot. So, Zayne, any closing thoughts?
No, I just agree with that. Like, I don't know where it's going to go in the future, but if James Gunn's not a part of it, I just don't care. So whatever he wants to do moving forward, let's see what happens. I'm good with whatever.
I don't even think it's bad that they have it up in the air.
Right. No, not at all.
No, I think that's fine. I think they can take as long as they want to go to season 2.
Yeah.
And maybe James Gunn can go do Guardians and come back, right? Like, I mean...
Well, are Are they done shooting Guardians 3? They might already be done shooting it, I feel like. So, like, he could start Peacemaker Season 2, like, this year, easy. So, that's not, like, out of the question.
Let's transition over to the Super Bowl. Zayne, were you upset that your Joe Burrow Cincinnati Bengals didn't win?
No. Like I said, I was fine with whoever was going to win. Like, yeah, I wanted Joe Burrow to win, but I was fine with whatever outcome. Like, it was just a good game. Like,
yeah, Robbie is Stafford Hall of Fame.
I don't think so. I don't know if that's controversial or not.
Yet.
I just don't think
not
so.
yet.
Hold on,
He's
Isaac. You
definitely
get the
not
hardest question of all. Hold on, ready? Isaac,
Oh,
orange and black or blue and gold?
Blue and gold, baby.
Blue and gold.
gold.
All right, that's the answer.
I-
We're sticking with it.
I was rooting for Stafford. I wanted him to get a ring, so
No, Isaac, we don't want to know the analytical mindset you had. We just want to know.
that wasn't
That's all we-
analytical. I wanted Stafford to get a ring. That's all I
okay.
said.
Chill out with the analytics, my guy. Put your papers away.
Yeah, calm down. We don't want to know what your thoughts on Stafford are.
Put
Just
your
tell us the
Excel
colors and let's move
spreadsheets
Blue
on.
and gold.
to the side.
Blue and gold. Blue and gold. In 4. Marvel Studios' Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. Dr. Stephen Strange casts a forbidden spell that opens the door to the multiverse, including an alternate version of himself, whose threat to humanity is too great for the combined forces of Strange, Wong, and Wanda Maximoff. This is directed by Sam Raimi, written by Jade Haley Bartlett. Steve Ditko is getting credit as well as Stan Lee. Stars Benedict Cumberbatch, Elizabeth Olsen, Rachel McAdams, Michael Sahlberg, Benedict Wong, Chiwetel Ejiofor. I worked on that. I think we're getting closer.
Doing great, Max. Keep it up. Keep it
really
up.
proud of you.
It's a good joke.
It's a good joke.
It's a great joke, even. And somebody's playing America Chavez.
It was great. Great up until that point.
And somebody else gets credit. Patrick Stewart's getting credit on IMDb now. I'm sorry, I'm terrible at pronouncing him. I'm so bad, biblically bad. Let's go ahead and rate this trailer. There were 2 trailers technically, but we're gonna just go ahead and rate them as one. Zayne, let's start with you.
Oh, yeah, it's 6 out of 6. Like, how can you give that thing anything else? Like, we were sitting there watching it at Max's house. Me and Max both looked at each other. And we were just like, oh my gosh. At 6 out of 6.
Happiest of accidents. I'll go next. I'll just piggyback off that. Highest of 6s I can give. This is, my opinion, the best Marvel trailer ever made. I would put it above Endgame and Infinity War. I think this trailer is that good. I think this trailer did exactly what it needed to do because I was wondering how this movie was going to work. I had a better understanding of it after WandaVision and Spider-Man, but I wanted to know what Raimi's vision was on this. I got it. I got it in 2.5 minutes. I feel great. I don't need to see another frame of this movie to want to be there. This looks tremendous. This to me has potential to be one of the best Marvel movies ever made from what this trailer looked like. So I'm trying to tamper my expectations because they're already very high. I'm a Doctor Strange guy, but this was great. I mean, Zayne, I think I said that was the best Marvel trailer at the time, and I haven't been able to shake that thought. So really, really good trailer. 6 out of 6. Robbie.
Yeah, I'm with you guys. It's definitely a 6 out of 6 because of all the doors that this movie can open, and just that trailer alone could open. And the frame by frame that people have been doing on this trailer has been insane. Like, people finding like the animated parts of this trailer is my favorite thing because that brings in a whole different realm of comics and history into the Marvel universe and in the what if universe, and it's just wild what this can do. So there's so much that happened in this trailer that I don't understand how you fit it into a movie, but they'll figure it out because Marvel is the best at forcing 5 hours worth of material into 2.5 hours, and they're brilliant at it. I'm just as excited for this movie. I'm not a Doctor Strange guy like Max is, but I am very, very excited for this movie because what it's going to do for the Marvel Universe.
Do you think What If is important after watching this trailer, Robbie?
Yeah, I didn't think What If was going to play a role in the MCU moving forward. Like, I really enjoyed What If. I think I put What If above Captain America and the Winter Soldier, if I'm not mistaken, when we did our list of all those shows, because I really enjoyed What If. The fact that it's probably like legit canon to the MCU now makes me very, very excited.
Hate to be the Debbie Downer, but 2 out of 6, no substance, sucked. Worst trailer I've ever seen. Just kidding. I'm just kidding.
All Flash.
I'm just kidding.
No
It's
substance.
a 6 out of 6. Infinity Snaps.
Okay, Jarrett.
Jared. Oh, hey. No, this is an amazing trailer, and I've been very critical of trailers just in general in the past 3-4 years. I feel like they're showing more and more of movies, which is just dumb to me. But this didn't show us a thing. We still don't know what the heck is going on in this movie, and I love that about this trailer. That was one of my favorite things about the WandaVision trailers. Didn't show us anything. We saw all the frames of all the characters. We saw all the cool junk that we're probably going to see in this movie, but we still have zero clue how this is all going to get tied together. Absolutely love it. 6 out of 6. Infinity Snap from the Infinity Bros for the Multiverse of Madness trailer. Infinity Snaps.
Yeah, I think this is probably safe to say this is an Infinity Snap.
Oh, yeah.
Couple little bits things I want to talk about. Robbie?
Little bits.
Robbie, I want you to know that I think when you say little bits, it's the best.
Thank you.
That's an attack on
It hurts a little bit, but that's all right.
Well,
It hurts.
I meant
It hurts
A little bit.
It's a good joke. It's a great joke, even.
But it's got to stop.
It's got to stop. There is a massive rumor about who is the Illuminati and which actors are playing them. So I'm going to go ahead and say them for our panel here. But if you are not interested in hearing this and you're fearful that this may be a spoiler, I'm going to go ahead and ask you to fast forward about a minute because we're going to talk about this. Are we ready, gentlemen? The first one is one we already know. It's Professor X, Patrick Stewart. Are we ready for the rest? Here we go. The second rumored is Captain Carter, played by Haley Atwell.
Oh, God.
The third is Captain Marvel, played by Lashana Lynch. The fourth is Mr. Fantastic, played by John Krasinski. The fifth is, and this was the shocking one to me, the return of Black Bolt from the Inhumans series, played by Anson Mount. And then Clea, played by Charlize Theron. Balder the Brave is also allegedly in this movie. Magneto is in it. And the person made it very clear to say that Magneto will not, Charles Xavier will only be played by Patrick Stewart. There will not be a McAvoy version of Patrick Stewart. And then the other little bit that's not really a little bit, but it's based on how you interpret how Ryan Reynolds said it this week. Ryan Reynolds was asked if he was in this movie. He's half of a sentence basically said, I don't know if I can talk about that, and then ended it with, I'm not in the movie. Do you think this list is accurate? Do you think this list is accurate? And how sure are you that Ryan Reynolds is in this movie as Deadpool? Zane, I'm going to pass that to you. You're the Deadpool.
I don't even know. I don't want to get too deep in speculation because I just want the movie just to hit me with what's in it. But
you don't want to dive into the weeds. You don't want to get in the weeds with us.
I feel like that's been such a dangerous thing. But if I'm going to go into the weeds, I'm going to say yes, he's going to be in it.
I was going to say if Mark was here, Mark would be diving head first, getting
right,
concussion.
Exactly. Mark's going to human torpedo the helmet. Just
the weeds.
Activate human torpedo into the weeds.
I feel like Deadpool's going to be in it, but it's just going to be like a CGI, and that's going to be the workaround when Ryan Reynolds says he's not going to be in it. Physically, he won't be in it, but I feel like we could still see Deadpool in some background or some cutscene. So I think that'll be the workaround on it. Physically, he won't be in it, but the character will be.
Now, Robbie, on the poster, you can see Captain Carter's shield. So, this list feels somewhat important to me, but are you excited to see the return of Captain Carter since you're such a What If fan?
I mean, I'm excited to see Captain Carter return. I don't know if part of the Illuminati is where I would expect her to return, I guess.
Yeah, that's a good point.
That doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. I'm more shocked that they would even mention that the Inhuman show happened.
That's what leads me to think this list might not be true,
Yeah.
Robbie. I don't think Black Bolt is in this.
I don't think they want to talk about that show.
I don't either. I think it's more likely to be a Black Panther. I think it's more likely to be Killmonger. I think that's a way bigger possibility to me than Black Bolt. Anson Mount, I don't know how Kevin Feige wants him anywhere in the building to do this role. That's what makes this list feel suspect to me.
Yeah, everything else you were saying sounded like legit, and then you said that, and I was like, no.
The Anson Mount one would be jaw-dropping. Krasinski has been that's been a rumor for what, 5-6 years?
I love that
that's
rumor. I love that rumor so much.
that rumor's been around since Endgame, right? I mean that
rumor is like my precious. It's just
yeah, that rumor.
John Krasinski is Mr. Fantastic.
To me, that feels like any scooper right now can just put that on their list and anyone's going to get excited. I feel like that's just whatever. Isaac, what about you? Anybody on this list hit you?
I think this list doesn't sound that bad, honestly, and definitely the Anson Mount thing seems a little sus. But I will say I think Feige might be on board with it just because everything's multiverse. Like, hey, maybe there's a multiverse where a really crappy Inhumans thing happened, like it's possible. It's a multiverse, like
it happened.
It happened in some multiverse that we're never going to see again. And they probably want to keep buried, but I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility. Likely, probably not. The one thing that I was surprised that I didn't see on this list, because the internet has been freaking out about it, is Tom Cruise's Superior Iron Man. That one's been like a very, very popular, like we saw kind of a figure that looked like they had some kind of energy thing, and a lot of people were suspecting that was Superior Iron Man. I think that figure looks more like Captain Marvel, Monica Rambeau, Captain Marvel. So
Mark and I both think that this looks like Iron Lad. And this is going to be a young Kang. I really, really feel like this is going to be a young Kang, and this is how they're going to usher in that young Avengers. It could go anywhere. That's the crazy thing. The goatee and the CGI lend itself to be like, it could be a person that's of color or just white. Like it really is a great, great frame to put in that trailer.
Right. I mean, there's like a bunch of like energy stuff around the person, so it's all just like.
Yeah,
inconspicuous. Like you could throw anybody in there.
It didn't look like Tom Cruise to me.
It kind
of
all. Yeah, I don't know. A lot of people have been. Somebody did a fan art of Tom Cruise's Superior Iron Man, and then the whole internet went wild and was like, "Oh my gosh, it's Tom Cruise! I totally see him in it. He's right there."
I would hate Tom Cruise.
I mean, Superior Iron Man is a hateable character, so that actually kind of makes sense.
Oh, Robbie, I disagree. I think it'd be great to have Tom Cruise in that role. Just have him be peak.
Dude, Superior Iron Man is like
great.
Okay, that makes sense. I don't know much about Superior Iron Man, so if that's the bit, then
a jerk.
Well,
just
then
a jerk.
Then I can.
He's like evil Iron Man, basically.
Yes. Yeah.
I'm all in on it.
Zayne America Chavez. Thoughts on that? I mean, we've talked about it before on the show, but I haven't heard your thoughts on this character. This is a very under the radar character, but I feel like she's going to be a household name by the end of this movie.
I think that's going to be what we're getting to go into like the phase 4, the new stuff. And I think this movie, it's going to be that introduction. Like, I don't know a ton about the character. So I don't know if it's going to be more of a, hey, we're just going to run this character along and here's what you get. I feel like it's going to be kind of a setup of an alternate universe, obviously. So I don't know if it's going to already have it set up that she fully has her power, like she's fully an established thing from her universe, or if this is like, hey, here's some random person we save, and like the story continues along with them. Like I just don't know. I feel like, yeah, she has a role, obviously, in the future stuff of what's going to happen. I just don't know what her role specifically in this movie is going to be.
She's got to be like a Secret Wars piece, I think, is kind of where I'm leaning on it. Like Young Avengers, Secret Wars stuff. That's kind of where
stuff down the line, right?
Yeah, for sure. Let's transition over to the next big game TV spot. This came from Moonknight, which is very like it's coming, guys. Like, it's going to be here before we know it. March 30th is the first date of the episode.
Yeah, that's like a month and a half, less than a month and a half away.
Right
That's
now.
crazy.
Pretty crazy. A former U.S. Marine struggling with dissociative identity disorder is granted the powers of an Egyptian moon god, but he soon finds out that these newfound powers can be both a blessing and a curse to his troubled life. This is directed by Doug Munch, Oscar Isaac, Ethan Hawke, and Gaspard Ulliel, who passed away recently in that skiing accident, star in this. And then pretty much everybody. Oh, F. Murray Abraham will play Khonshu. That's the other one. That just came out, I believe, this last week. Khonshu. Gosh, if Jarrett was here, he'd kill me.
That's a town. That's a town in Wisconsin.
Hey, Max, please don't say that, Max. Don't stop. Moonlight's the best character ever.
Oh my gosh, Max, I can't believe you said that.
Zayner, tell us your thoughts on this trailer. I believe I was still freaking out about Doctor Strange when we watched this trailer together, but I'd love to know your thoughts on this 30-second spot.
It's going to be sweet. Like, we're giving it
rating too.
Oh,
Don't forget the rating.
Yeah, it's going to be very cool. Like, this trailer, I'm still 5 out of 6. Like, I always get bothered when Marvel, when we're getting really close to getting something and they're like, hey, we're going to keep giving new trailers. It's like, okay, I'm already excited for it. Let's just get to the show. I don't need new trailers. Like, I don't need more spoiled. Like, let's just get me to the show. But yeah, I'm very excited for it. It's going to be something new. I'm going to be excited to see how they handle the mental illness side of things, how they're going to represent the different characters or even the different personalities. And so, yeah, I think there's a lot that they can do with this. And I'm excited to see what Moonknight has in store for us and what that means further down the line, especially in regards to with what we have coming with Blade. And then, like, if we get Ghost Rider or anything, you know, give me the Midnight Suns. Give me the Midnight Suns.
That was my next question. It's like, dude, this feels like Midnight Suns.
That's what I want.
This is the direction they're going, Zayne.
Absolutely. And that would fit in with what Raimi's doing with the Multiverse Madness. Like, fit in with this. Like, get this creepy, get this dark side. Like, that's what I want.
Yeah. Robbie, thoughts on this trailer?
I just love Oscar Isaac so freaking much. So you put him in anything and I'm pretty much going to watch it. The fact that he's now playing just a BA superhero, anti-hero, whatever. I don't know what you want to call Moonknight. Just makes it all the better. I'm all in on it. I give this trailer a 6 out of 6 because it has Oscar Isaac in it. And it's just more teasing for me. The Moonknight, I haven't actually done any like reading on Moonknight, but just from what I know, without doing any reading, so just from what I know, he's a character I know I would enjoy. I haven't actually read stuff yet because if I do,
Robbie,
I'm going to go down the deep end.
Robbie,
I know he's not Batman.
He's not Batman. He's not Batman. Okay,
you're
going to be disappointed.
I know he's
going to be disappointed.
He's
but I
better.
know that I would love his character.
Jarrett's getting mad right now. Just like he senses that something is wrong,
Batman
and he's
at
like
all.
getting mad right
I didn't
now.
say that at all.
I'm
Why
just
is
saying,
Jarrett
Jarrett's
mad?
already
Not
mad
Batman,
about
Robbie.
it. So
He's not.
just watch yourself.
Just
not
watch
Batman.
yourself.
I'm so caught off guard right now. I'm just
not.
excited. The
He's not
character is
Batman.
very interesting. I'm very interested in this show.
Isaac, why don't you give us a better review than that? Go ahead.
I've been excited for the show for a long time. I didn't need another trailer. And sure, the shots that we got were cool. One especially that sticks in my mind is when he's jumping down and he spreads out his cape and we get the crescent like moon shape of his cape. That was sweet. But yeah, I'm already on board. Like, just skip all the trailers and let's get to the show. So 5 out of 6. It was cool and like the new shots, but it's not making me any more excited for the show than I already was. So
yeah, 4 out of 6 to me too. It's the same. I'm literally going to say the same things on you. I just don't even think it needs a 5. It's just like, good trailer. Let's get to the show. The poster is a 6 out of 6 with Oscar
Poster's
Isaac.
legit.
Posters
A 6 out of 6. That's what they should have
legit,
leaned into more,
sure.
in my opinion, than that.
Jarrett needs that on his closet wall.
Before
in
we
the back
transition
when he's
to our
streaming.
last two things to talk about, and we're just going to speed through it because we're running out of time here. rating of the costume. That's been a big piece of feedback on Moonknight, that this costume cannot translate to the screen. Thoughts on the costume, Zayne?
I feel like, was it Jared or someone said this in an earlier episode? I wonder if the reason why it's going that is maybe this is supposed to be like an early iteration of the costume, and that as we go on, like maybe the costume gets more refined. Like the whole scene of like where it comes out like mummy wrapping, like I get it, it fits with the Egyptian thing, but like it still looks kind of odd. Like I wonder if that's either in some sort of vision or it's some like early way of using the costume, because like the Mr. Knight costume, like that actually looked really good.
Yeah.
And so I feel like I wonder if it's going to be something that just gets more refined as the series goes on, and like we're just seeing like early on or just an interpretation of it. Either way, like it looks good. Like it's one of those things that it's obviously going to look a little different on the big screen than it is in a book. But I don't think that's obviously going to be the final costume. Like I think we're going to get some revisions. It's going to get upgraded, kind of more on par, I suppose, with kind of what we got with Daredevil.
I love that I asked for a rating of it and you gave me a 1.5-minute dissertation on this costume and like what you think is happening with it. What's your rating of the costume?
4.5.
Robbie.
I think it looks cool. 5 out of 6. Go ahead. Well, Max doesn't want a dissertation on it. So
Well, I don't know how you could top what Zayne just said.
Zayne said a lot of stuff. I give it a 5.
Isaac.
I'll give it a 5 out of 6 too. The only thing I'll say is, in the comics, there's a very stark
No, that's Iron Man.
dissidence between. There's a stark difference between Moon Knight and other characters because he is like bright white, and I'm a little sad they went with like kind of a gray shade, because one of like Moon Knight's things is like he wants people to see him coming, so that's why he has the white costume. So that I was a little bummed when it was like a different shade, but I think it looks sweet regardless. The Mr. Knight costume especially looks awesome, so definitely pumped for that. But yeah, I think if we get a couple more revisions,
So you're
it'll
saying
be
it's not white enough?
pretty sweet costume.
I'll say it.
Right.
It's not white enough.
not white
It's
enough.
not. I'll say the Moon Knight costume is not good.
Oh, okay,
I'll give it a
Max,
3 out of 6.
Thank you
I'll
for
be the
being my white knight.
It
Max.
does not look good. It looks gray. I agree, Isaac. I'll just be the one that actually gives it a bad rating. 3 out of 6.
That's like a classic part of
It
Moon
needs
Knight's
to be
character.
more.
is
It
his
needs
white
to be more.
costume.
It's not
So
good enough.
Yeah.
Mr. Knight's costume looks great. That's my like
That looks sweet.
caveat there. I think that's just, and maybe we'll see it in a different shade when we get it on the screen. Maybe they still need to touch it up more. I'll give them the benefit of it on that. 2 more trailers to talk through. We're just going to power through these real quick since we're running out of time. Lord of the Rings, The Rings of Power. Rating of that trailer. Zayne.
Something I don't really know what to expect. 4 out of 6.
Robbie.
I thought it was a really good teaser of what we're going to get. It's still, like Zayne said, kind of leads you to not really know what's happening, I guess. Just because of all that we saw, and they really lent into the Lord of the Rings aspect of it all. I'll give it a 5 out of 6.
Isaac.
5 out of 6. The only thing I didn't like about it is I think they're using a lot of CGI in this show, and for how much money they're spending on it, like, I don't know. There's a big difference between Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit. Like Lord of the Rings, they used a ton of practical effects, and they still use good CGI in Lord of the Rings, but The Hobbit feels CGI, like very CGI. So I saw a little bit of that in this trailer, and I really hope they don't lean too far that way. So that's my only kind of like, I don't know about that. But the rest of it looks sweet.
I have nothing to add than the rest of you are saying. So 4 out of 6. I'm excited to be back in Middle Earth. But I agree on the CGI thing. They better have paid New Zealand a ton of money to be there and film it. That's exactly what I'll say. So, Isaac, bonus one for you that we didn't talk about pre-show. Jurassic World Dominion.
Oh gosh, got Isaac all excited now.
6 out of 6. I love this trailer.
Was this the best
my
trailer
gosh.
of the Super Bowl? Was this
Don't
the
get
best
me
trailer of the
started.
Super Bowl for you? Like, I feel like you liked this one more than
Yes,
this.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I absolutely love this trailer. The shot where we get all of the main characters, including Ian Malcolm, Alan Grant, and I'm so excited. And gosh, what's her name again?
Bryce Dallas Howard.
I forget her name. Who's in the first?
The other chick.
No. The
Laura Dern.
Laura Dern. The other
Laura Dern.
chick.
Yes.
That's the actress's name.
Laura Dern is her name. Yeah.
I forget. Yes, all of those, and then, gosh, that when I saw that shot, I jumped out of my seat. I was like,
Yeah,
yes, this is awesome. So cool.
It looks good to me. I agree. 6 out.
Can't wait.
6 out of 6.
I get their cheesy dinosaur movies, dude. This is like Zane's monster movies. This is what
This is Fast
gets
and
me
Furious.
hyped.
Absolutely,
It's Max's Fast and Furious. Like
Makes no sense.
It gets me
Shouldn't
hyped
like
every
it, but I
time.
do.
So give it to me.
Yep.
Give it to me.
You
6
get
out of
Dominic
6.
Toretto telling me that I'm part of his family, and all of a sudden I'm like, I am part of your family. Let's watch this movie.
You know what?
We
I
are
am
going
I'm
to
a part.
space. Let's do it.
What if at the end of the movie, just that Dominic Toretto's family is the T-Rex? All of a sudden, just Dominic Toretto comes in,
We don't leave.
and then he
families
goes
behind.
fights the asteroid that takes out the dinosaurs.
What's the crossover you want more, Robbie? Do you
Solid.
want Fast and the Furious with Godzilla, Godzilla with Jurassic Park, or Fast and the Furious with Jurassic Park?
Fast and Furious with Jurassic Park actually makes a lot of sense. That could actually happen.
sounds
They could
pretty
make
awesome.
that
Not gonna
happen.
lie, I actively don't like the Fast and the Furious franchise, but like Fast and Furious and dinosaurs,
That's
I'm
a
in.
real
I'm in.
possibility.
That's a great question. That's actually a very good question. I'm gonna go.
I mean, where do you go after
I think
space? You might as well
Jurassic
go back.
World.
Well,
Yeah, I
it'll
think
go back
I'm
in
gonna
time,
go
maybe.
Jurassic. I'm gonna go Jurassic Park and Fast and the Furious. Zane, your answer.
Oh, yeah,
because it's Godzilla and something.
Oh no, I'm all on board with the Fast and Furious and Jurassic Park now. Now that I said that, it's ridiculous. Both those series, it makes sense.
It makes
like
so
they're
much
just
sense.
ridiculous
Yeah.
series. It would make sense that those two would cross over.
Right.
And then the third movie in that trilogy would then be them fighting Godzilla.
That together.
That's
Fast and
the
Furious
team up.
teams up.
That's the
teams
team
up
up.
with dinosaurs to take down
fight
Godzilla.
I
Godzilla.
feel like
ends the
Peacemaker
trilogy,
could find his way into this universe. The Peacemaker squad, John Cena.
Peacemaker riding a T-Rex.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that
that's-
sounds awesome.
I
actually.
guarantee there's already fan art of that.
And then Boba Fett comes in with his
Oh,
Rancor
yeah.
and like, wow, this is a great show.
It does
we've got going.
nothing
We
and
should-
then leaves.
We got to pitch this to somebody,
And then
guys.
the Page Master shows up. It's gonna be great.
The Page Master showing up?
Wait, what?
The Page Master?
Robbie's like, "Can I
Where's
watch this
Macaulay
movie now?"
Culkin?
Macaulay Culkin.
It's an older Macaulay Culkin, but
A younger.
But no one acknowledges that he's older.
Older.
everybody sees him as a kid, but he looks like a kid, but he feels like a 40-year-old man.
Brilliant.
Yeah, that's
Brilliant.
Good. That's
Give
good
us all
stuff.
your money.
Yeah, you can check out all these trailers online. Don't ask me where to find them. Just go find them yourself.
YouTube. They're all on YouTube.
Can you imagine somebody emails us, "Hey, just looking to see that trailer you were talking about.
Can you send me the link to that?
Can you send me the link to the
Hey,
trailer
what's
that you
that
guys were talking
Page
about?"
Master you were talking about?
I
What's
just
that
talking
all
about the
about?
Page Master. I've never heard of Macaulay Culkin. Yeah.
We sent him the trailer.
How
for
many,
Richie
Isaac,
Rich.
how many times am I going to mispronounce names in 2022?
Hey,
like,
you
we're
got
already in
you
the
got
50s.
Macaulay Culkin's name right, so I mean,
I
like,
struggle with
that's-
that name, to be honest. I tried not to say it.
Macaulay
Yeah,
Culkin?
we might need to pass off the pronunciation
Culkin?
duties to somebody else
Macaulay
moving forward. I've been butchering names the last 3 weeks.
You're the butcher.
Crikey.
Crocky.
Zane, thanks for showing up today and filming on your Android phone for
Oh, it's not my
video was
phone.
great.
It's just the stock camera that comes on my laptop. So
the stock camera.
yeah, I like to keep things all natural. I'm a pretty pretty humble guy. So
Have you tried like cleaning it?
I don't.
Gosh.
If God wanted it to be
Things
clean,
all
it would be
natural.
clean.
Oh boy, brilliant!
Robbie, thank you for showing up in crisp HD, dare I say 3D
I'm
imagery.
coming at you, man. I feel like crap. I'm happy that I was
Oh
here.
gosh, yeah.
Been coughing the entire time off camera, or when I'm not talking. So I'm just happy to get through
That's
this
hot.
episode.
Yeah, the four of us went on that ice fishing trip last week, and I'm still feeling it in my nose.
Zayne is the only one who was immune to all of the stuff that we brought
That's because
back.
Zayne's like, my body actively fights illnesses all the time. Nothing can penetrate
peak
this
physical
fortress.
condition.
The man didn't take a deuce for 4 days, guys.
That is impressive. That's impressive.
I'm in control of my body, guys. No one else.
And then when we got to the gas station halfway home, he's like, guys, I gotta go.
This is the best part of the gas station was we're in the middle of Hodunk, Minnesota, and Lights by what's the singer's name? Lights comes on the song. Zayne hates that song. And I scream in the middle. I'm screaming in the gas station going, "Whoa! Best song ever!" And everyone's looking at me, and Zayne just puts his head down and runs to the bathroom, mortified that I'm causing him to get this much attention as he's about to poop his pants. So good. So good.
Good times.
And Isaac, thanks for making us part of your rhythm for Friday night, and hope Thirsty Thursdays.
Thirsty Thursdays. All right.
What are we
All right.
now? What's Thirsty Thursdays?
I don't know, but I want to find out now.
Are you doing hot tub
Thirsty
now?
Thursdays.
Oh,
come on down.
Come on down to Thirsty
We're having
Thursdays.
beer. We're having alcohol. We're
Hot tub
talking to
ASMR.
Holly. We're
We're hairy old white guys are in a hot tub, and it's
I'm
a lot of
in a hot
fun.
tub, and I'm not wearing a shirt. It's pretty cool, right?
What time is it? Is it 7 a.m. or is it 9 p.m. at night? Who cares? There's George
Thrifty
for hot tub.
Thursday.
I don't even know. I work night shifts. I don't know what time it is.
Thirsty.
What day is it? I just know that it's
Thirsty
Thursday.
Thursday.
Thank
Oh
goodness.
my god!
It's gonna be a good time. Come on down
It could
for
be
Thirsty
2024.
Thursdays,
It
people.
could be 2021. I don't know.
Oh my gosh! I called it Thursday. Well, thank you, listener, wherever you listened, however you listened. Thanks for putting up with our shenanigans and making us part of your podcast experience. You can check out all the things we discussed today in the show notes below. Follow us on social media, get on Discord, and keep the conversation going. You can also check us out on Twitch, where we are actively gaming throughout the week. You can check out Thrifty or Thirsty Thursday, depending on how Isaac feels this week.
Make it
As
a little
always,
spicy,
we
you
love you
never
guys. As
know.
always,
Will you let him end the show, Isaac?
I'm sorry. Go, guys, go.
as always, we love you guys 3000. We'll see you later. Bye.
Thanks for tuning in to the Infinity Bros podcast. You can find the Infinity Bros on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at the Infinity Bros. Feel free to send listener feedback via email at infinitybrospodcast@gmail.com.